starts. You give us 22 minutes.
Sad breaking news. Guitarist Ace Frehley of Kiss passed away at the age of 74 years old. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notifications button for any episodes coming your way. But this is sad breaking news. One of the greatest, influenced so many, Mr. Ace Frehley, dead at the age of 74 years old. I don't know what to say, but the spaceman has left the building. A while back, I did an interview with Ace, and I never aired the whole complete interview. And right now, this is my tribute to Ace, you the fans, and his legacy. The music will live on. I want to share this one with you, everybody, right now. Post your comments. Let me hear from you. Your thoughts, your favorite songs. Ace Frehley did it at the age of 74.
Ace seems to be the most laid back of the four, and he's the one who'll probably be the hardest to make talk.
Well, this is not Ace.
This isn't Ace.
This is George. This is George. I'm an imposter. Ace is back in his ass. That's true.
You want the best, and you got the best! The hottest man in the world!
Ace Frehley.
I want you!
Kind of like a spaceman, huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber. Yes. Where are you?
From Brooklyn, Canarsie, originally.
So is Peter Chris.
That you and I went to two different schools together. I think we might get along. And if you don't, Ace, you could hang up on me. You could walk away. What a putz. Who set me up with this fucking guy out the gate? But
What's your name?
Stefan.
Stefan what?
ADIKA.
Spell that.
Stefan ADIKA. ADIKA. Like Attica, but just ADIKA.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But you could say Attica. I'm okay. I like the movie. It's
What instrument do you play?
Play bass. I used to play with Dee Dee Ramone.
Cool.
Yeah. Ace, what do you think life would have been if you didn't go to the loft at audition? Where do you think your life would have been at? Would you still been playing?
I would have been famous no matter what.
You would have done maybe, yeah.
If I didn't make it with Kiss, I would have made it with somebody else.
But you wouldn't have given up music. You would have just stuck with music for sure.
I had it. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I had the personality. I had the looks. I could play. And there was no stopping me. So
that was it, huh?
That's not even an issue in my mind. I kind of knew when I was about 16, I was going to be a rock star, and I would tell everybody, and they'd think I was crazy. But
how about your parents? What would they say?
They didn't believe me, but when they showed up at Madison Square Garden, the night we did three nights over a weekend, they kind of remembered, and they said, "Yeah, you pulled it off."
Now let me ask you: for you, being from the Bronx, where you grew up from, where you came from, in the high like 70, the 70s, 77, that was your Beatlemania too. It was Kiss mania. What was it? What was going on through your head? I'm here at the Garden. I mean, come on.
I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. People didn't even know what we looked like without the makeup. I remember going to some fucking bar, and there was this broad. She had to be a 9.5. And I walked up to her, and I was hitting on her, and she was a little receptive. And I bought her a drink, and then we're talking. And I figure I cinched the deal if I told her who I was. I go, "By the way, I'm Ace Frehley from Kiss." She goes, "Get the fuck out of here." I had to pull out all my ID and everything. Finally, I pulled out some cards with on the cover, and finally she believed me. I had a 928 Porsche outside, black on black. Finally, she believed me.
So you dropped your own name because you had no idea.
Crazy.
That is a funny story, man. I
Her
mean,
name was
God.
Adrian.
Adrian, huh?
She's an artist. I don't know what happened to her. She was so fucking hot.
I bet you Adrian's telling that story. You wouldn't believe it. It's like a joke. A guy walks into a bar, says he's Ace Frehley from Kiss. I go home with him. Boom, boom. You know what? I pulled some questions for some of the fans that watch my show on a community board. There was a really good question here that one of the guys had asked me, where is it thing? They wanted to know when you went for your audition with Kiss, what guitar did you bring with you?
I'll show you a copy of it. This is the guitar I auditioned with Kiss,
Oh, wow.
except it's a copy. It's a reverse Firebird single pickup with banjo tuning pegs. Not many of these around. But the Gibson Custom Shop one, I told them I used to have one of these. They made me another one exactly the way it was.
So that's exactly what it was. What you walked in, that's
It's
what it looked
also
like.
the same guitar that Clapton used on the Farewell Cream tour.
That's
And I'll
right.
never forget because I saw a photograph of him playing it, right? And he has a big hand.
Yeah.
Look what happens when you put your hand here. All you see is a volume and control. You don't see a pickup or a bridge. Because it was
No.
just mini humbucker and a fucking single tail piece bridge. Amazing guitar. The only thing I don't like about it is the neck is too fat.
Oh,
It
yeah, yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
but that's
I have the original pickup that was in the guitar that I auditioned with Kiss. So I might put it in here, and I might have the neck made a little thinner, which is how I like my guitars to be. I have like 120 guitars, so yeah.
But that's cool, man. You know, that guitar reminds me of Brian Jones would play one like that on, especially on that live Rolling Stones Got Live album. I remember on the cover, you see he's playing the Firebird.
Now Clapton used that guitar in Cream Farewell tour. He used it at the Garden. I
Oh,
don't know if
killer,
he used it every night.
killer. That's killer. You let me, so when you went on that audition that changed your life, basically, did you jam on covers or you jammed on originals or just a loose jam with them?
It's exactly what happened. They played Deuce, and they said, listen to this song. It's in the key of A, but you got to tune down a half step because they always tune down a half step. So I tuned down a half step, and they said, when it comes to the solo section, we'll nod and just go. So they played a elongated version of the solo, and I just played every riff I knew. You know,
And you just, that's it.
that was it. Told me after I jammed I think we may have done one or two other songs fucking around, but they told me we'll call you back within 2 weeks and let you know. But Paul admitted to me later, several years later, he said, we knew that day you were the guy. It's just that we had other people that we already told them and had them booked to come in and audition. You never know who's going to show up. So, but he said pretty much we knew you were the guy.
Wow. But there was no name for the band, just a couple of guys jamming from their old name that they had.
I'll never forget the day we named the band. I was going, why don't we call the group Fuck? And they said, that's a little extreme. So out of the blue, Paul goes, what about Kiss? And we all looked at each other and we go, That might be a good name. And then I designed the logo.
So the logo came from you. I always get the mixed stories from everybody on the internet and all these people talking about it. So you actually came up with the lightning bolt S's, right?
Yeah, I had a button of the original version of the logo. You know, Paul even admitted that I designed the logo. And then later on, he lied and said he designed it. But what happened was I drew it with a felt tip pen,
Yeah.
and was pretty, the lines were pretty straight, but and the design was appealing. But you know, he was a trained artist because he went to music and art. So you know, he just drew the lines a little straighter with a Rapidograph pen and gave it to the record company, and that's the logo.
That was the
But
logo.
I designed it, he refined it.
I mean, man, when you think about how simple it all is and how iconic it is, I mean,
I
Ace,
designed that logo like in an afternoon, and it's like one of the most recognizable logos in the world.
that with the Rolling Stones mouth. Yes, the tongue. Those two. You think of rock and roll
I
things like
just
that.
like that's, you know, I've done so many crazy things in my life that have touched millions of people. I just kind of like go with the flow. I try not to think about it because then you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not on any ego trip, you know.
It,
Mm,
you're a guy who just you kind of your life, it's like one big jam. It just comes natural and you go with it, and wherever it
Life
goes, it
feels like
goes.
it's been a movie, and it still feels like it's a movie. It's
Well, you
almost gonna jump out of the. I'm gonna go through a door, and you know,
well, are they trying
for
to
your
make a
director go, okay, you're done.
well, no. Is there a biopic now going to be made about your career with Kiss coming
Oh,
out?
uh, we need to get a good screenwriter, and once we get a script, I would like to approach Scorsese
Ah,
simply because he grew up in the Bronx and he would get it. Uh, but there's a lot of great directors out there. Who would I like to play me in my 20s? The kid who plays the Flash.
oh, really?
Yeah, I think he would, you know, if he had my hairdo, you know, because I used to have, you know, those kind thin eyes, and some people used to think I was Oriental. I don't know why, I don't know where it came from, but you know, once I got a facelift, you know, they did an eye lift, and you know, my eyes are more open now.
You- So how's the world look now that they're more open? Does it look better?
Uh,
Does the world look better now they're more open or what?
you know, they're bigger.
You know?
I,
But do you see everything better? Do you like what you see in the world?
like everything.
You know? That's fun. Ace,
My world, I created it. I
I
love how
like it. It looks
this is like a man cave.
I'm actually jealous of your man cave. I think it looks I wouldn't want to leave. It's a great place. Look at you got the lights going back there. You look like you're it looks like the USS Enterprise.
Fucking nuts.
It is nuts. Ace, what about the whole the makeup with your with where did that come from? Where did what made
I
just because
designed I designed my makeup
yeah.
because I was always in, I told you I was always interested in science fiction, and so I decided to come, you know, be more like a spaceman. Gene was always fascinated with horror movies, so he became the demon. You know, Peter had this thing for cats, and you know, I'm gonna tell you something, but you know, Paul will never admit it. But you know, for a while, Paul's makeup was exactly the way you see it now, except he had a circle around his eye. You know, like the dog and the little rascals.
We got a little surprise for you! Y'all ready for something
Edie. Yeah.
special?
Petey. Yeah, and we were working at that club, the Daisy, developing our makeup, and I looked at Paul and I said, "Why don't you just try putting a star over your eye?" And he did, and that's it. from the time I grew up in the Bronx, I was the first kid to get bell bottoms. I used to shop in the village and get clothes. I used to have a Captain America shirt. I had a Superman shirt, but nobody had it, you know, because I knew the cool places to shop. You know, I knew where to get the cool platforms. I wore clogs for a while because, you know, Alvin Lee from 10 years after
Yeah.
wore
Yeah.
the same fucking clogs. And if you notice in Dress to Kill,
Yeah.
Gene is wearing my clogs.
I was going to ask you because
Those are my clogs.
those are your clogs on Dress to Kill.
And you know that skull shirt he wears?
Yes.
In the early pictures of Kiss, black t-shirt with skull and crossbones. I
Yeah.
designed that and my mother sewed it on the fucking black t-shirt. And I brought it down and we were getting dressed and I had something else. I had a black shirt with lightning bolts or something on it. And I said, hey, Gene wasn't sure what the fuck it was. I said, hey, Gene, where the skull and crossbones? It's you.
Why the costume? Why the costume? I can tell he's your type, Tony. I can just tell.
I really like her bad formation. Open up, Tony.
Is your mother watching today? I hope so.
Yes,
Would it be funny if under this he was just a nice Jewish boy?
Actually, it was I remember the pictures, killer looking, look killer. So your mom did the stitching on that.
Sewed the crossbones and skull on that fucking
Wow.
shirt.
Very cool. I mean, God, the concept that you guys came up with is because at that time you had the New York Dolls doing it, but they didn't have the songs. They, you know, the Max's Kansas City thing era, you know. But
We were intimidated by the Dolls.
were you really?
Because they were the shit.
I'm in love, L-U-V.
And then, you know, once our album came out and we started playing, we had a big machine behind us. You know, Neil Bogart, Bill O'Coin, a lot of connections. You know, finally we became more popular than the New York Dolls. And then the New York Dolls kind of fizzled out. You know, they were all doing heroin and getting loaded. I was really, really good friends with Arthur Kane. Kane would walk into my fucking room with 2 cases of 16-ounce Colt 45s.
What a nice guy he was.
He's a wonderful guy.
A wonderful guy.
That crazy wife he had, she cut off his fucking thumb or something.
Oh, back in the early days. Yeah.
I remember all that shit. I went to see him in the hospital when his liver was bothering him. We were very close.
He was a cool bass player too, Arthur. You know, he was cool.
He wasn't a great bass player, but he held his own.
He was simple. He held his own. No, he was pretty cool. But what is
simplicity is, you know, better than, you know, complicated shit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool. They had a cool thing going on, a cool vibe. The Dolls. What it was just really raw. Where you guys.
I mean, you know, Johnny Thunders. You know, I had met him multiple times with friends of mine.
Yeah.
And I said, "Who's this fucking guy?" And then, you know, they started the Dolls. Peter was actually very good friends with the drummer. They grew up together
With Jerry Nolan.
Yes, and yeah, I knew Jerry, and but somehow, you know, we actually went on tour together and did some shows, and immediately me and Arthur just clicked. And I loved to drink beer, and he loved his beer. So, you know, we both down a couple of 6-packs of Colt 45. We sniffed glue together. Yeah,
Wait, hold on. What is sniffing? I always hear about sniffing glue. What is sniffing glue? What is like the model?
The best guys in the world.
It's the model airplane glue. Is that what you're talking about? Right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like
I tell you, man, you fucking you think you've taken acid or gone this. You sniff glue, you're going to another fucking dimension.
where does it take you? How long does it last?
Yeah, I can't even verbalize it. It takes you to this place.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, I'm here now. and it lasts 10 or 15 minutes, and then it wears off, and then you're back. It's almost like you go to an alternate universe.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm such an idiot. I used to go, what's this sniffing glue? The only glue I had was Elmer's glue. I go, there's nothing here.
High. What a fuck. It only lasted 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I also used to sniff carbona cleaning.
Oh God.
We used to put it on our fucking collars and walk around and just sniff it while we walked. Fucking bounced it off fucking walls and shit. Yeah, I hung out with crazy people.
Ace, I got to tell you, a friend of mine who's a great guy. I'm good friends with Kenny Vance. You know Kenny Vance? He actually did the Warrior. He was in Janie Americans, and he introduced me to Vinny Poncia. And Vinny is such a great guy, and I keep in touch with Vinny.
I know Vinny.
I know you know Vinny, and Vinny worked on your records and all that.
He used to record at Eddie Solan's studio.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Vinny did, like, I'll tell you, a few of my records that you guys recorded. I mean, I love the stuff that Vinny produced for Kiss too. I thought he did a great job, and the songs were cool as well. It was just a different changing of the gods with Kiss. And but his history and the Doc Pomus world and all that was pretty cool. Did you enjoy working with Vinny Poncia?
Very much so, because we used to do Quaaludes together. Yeah, Vinny was great to work with. Vinny understood me very well. He knew I liked to get fucked up, but he also knew I was a pro. And this is what he used to say to me. Like, when it came time for me to do solos, he'd kick everybody out of the fucking studio. Because he knew Paul and Gene used to fucking break my balls. Because sometimes, it would take a few takes for me to get a good solo back in those days. Now I just knock them out like it's fucking, cup of coffee. But Vinny, he was holding on to the Quaaludes. And he go, listen. I go, Vinny, I want a Quaalude. He goes, nope. Let's get this solo done, and after the solo, I'll give you your treats. So once I nailed the solo, he'd throw me a couple of Quaaludes, he'd take a couple, we wash it down with a beer. That was Vinny. I was also really good friends with John Belushi.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Tell me a Belushi story.
I was with him up the weekend before he left to go to California.
No way. Really?
Yeah. We used to go on 3-day coke runs.
Oh, wait.
The latest information from the coroner's office says comedian John Belushi spent his last hours drinking and taking drugs, and even showed signs of an overdose several hours before his death. His blood contained an unusually high 0.407 milligrams of cocaine and traces of morphine. There were multiple fresh puncture marks in both of Belushi's arms. 34-year-old Evelyn Smith told police that Belushi had experienced hot and cold flashes, difficulty in breathing, and vomiting during the night, but nonetheless he continued to take drugs and drink wine. Hal Eisner, CNN, Los Angeles.
One of the reasons he loved me, many reasons. Number one, I get him laid. Because I was dating a lot of models and shit. It was a phone call.
Yeah.
And John's not the best looking guy in the world, even though he's a hysterical comedian. So, and I don't know if you're aware of the fact, once Saturday Night Live, they became super famous. They couldn't go out because they'd get hassled by people. So John and Dan bought a bar below Canal Street, and they sandblocked the windows with cinder blocks, and they put a metal door there with a little peephole. And after Saturday Night Live was recorded, you'd see a dozen limos on this fucking street, a couple of streets south of Canal. and only on Saturday night, like 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And of course, I was allowed in because everybody knew me. I knew Gilda and all those fucking idiots. But I would hang with John. But here was the beauty of it. Him and Dan bought this bar so everybody could party Saturday night. But the rest of the week, it wasn't used. So John would call me up on a Wednesday and say, I just got a fucking ounce of some fucking Peruvian flake. I go, I'm right. I'll see you in 20 minutes. So we'd hook up and I'd say, we'd have a couple of beers and he'd say, you want to go down to the bar? I go, yeah. I'll make a couple of phone calls. So I got a couple of models to come down to the bar and meet us there. Next thing you know, they're fucking in their underwear. They're laying on the bar with snorting coke off their tits. And John's playing drums. I'm playing guitar. The girls are dancing on the fucking bar. It was just the four of us. I mean, it's fucking amazing.
How did the band sound? No, I'm joking.
They don't believe me.
I love that story. It's a great story.
And John said to me the day before he was flying back to Connecticut to finish the movie Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah.
He said, Ace, you're one of the few people that can crack me up. I'm definitely putting you in my next film.
Wow.
And we all know what happened.
Yeah, it's the lady that he was hanging with. She was going out. Used to go out with Gordon Lightfoot.
Gave him a hot dose.
She gave him a hot dose. She was like, yeah.
She gave him heroin and speed.
It's another.
And I tell you, I swear to God, I knew John for a while. Never would use the needle. Didn't like needles. I didn't like needles.
I'm against needles. I don't even know why I even got tattoos. He was
really depressed about his wife and shit wasn't going well. He was upset about some other shit. So he met this fucking crazy broad and she says, let me shoot you up. You'll feel better. She ended up fucking killing him.
Yeah. That's it.
Fucked up.
Young age he died, man. He was a real talented guy. Yeah. And that lady who shot him, she used to go out with Gordon Lightfoot.
One other funny story about John.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when the Blues Brothers movie came out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember when the Blues Brothers actually performed at the Academy of Music that night?
Mm-hmm.
Sold out. And the backstage area was filled with celebrities. I mean, big celebrities. No one was allowed in the dressing room. They made a rule because, they said, Jesus, if we allow one person, we're going to have to allow 100. So Ron Delson was standing at the bottom of the staircase.
Yeah.
He's going, nobody can come up. So I was really good friends with Ron because, he had promoted us at the Garden all those years. So they did their first 45-minute set, took a 30-minute break, and then we're supposed to come out and do another 45 minutes. So Ron Delson comes running over to me after the first set, and he goes, he's in a panic. I go, what the fuck's wrong? He goes, John won't come out and play the second half of the show. He blew his voice out. I go, please, come on. He goes, Ace, you got to go talk to him. Because he knew we were tight. So Paul and Gene were there. I can't even name all the celebrities. I had this fucking broad with a mini skirt. You could see her fucking underwear. So Ron goes, go up and talk to him, please. So I went up there with this fucking fashion model and we get in there and it's just fucking Dan and fucking John. So I'm going, John, what the fuck's the problem? He goes, my voice is all fucked up. So I immediately made him a hot cup of tea with honey and lemon. I said, drink this. So he sipped on that. It made him feel a little better. You know, I might have given him some champagne. You know, and then he started feeling even a little better. He was relaxed a little. I said, look, John, nobody can fucking sing in the rock and roll business. Mick Jagger can't sing. I can't sing. We fake it. We just talk the words. It's bullshit. I go, you can fucking fake it. Just go out there and fucking fake it. And I laid out 4 lines of Peruvian flake and he fucking snorted it up. And he goes, yeah, fuck it. I'll do it.
But
I
he
go
had
back down the stairs. Yeah, I was letting you fucking see my girlfriend's pussy. And look at this fucking shit. You know, you want a piece of this after the show? Come back to my joint. So yeah, I walked back downstairs with this broad, and Dells is like nervous. I go. He goes, what happened? I go, he's gonna do it. He goes, unfucking believable, Ace. How do you talk to him? I go, he's gonna do it. He's a friend of mine. I know how to talk to him. What happened in the second half of the show? And no one else was allowed in the room. And I remember Paul and Gene going under their breath, how come he can go up and we can't? Yeah. Beautiful. Fucking, you know. That's how I used to get back at them. I used to do shit that they couldn't do.
Life's been good to me. You know, hopefully I got another 10 or 20 years to go. Thank you very much.